it's Candice here on K-Rock, and I gotta say, it's been a while since I've been nervous for an interview, but I just want to say hello, welcome. I don't even know what to say, but on the phone right now, we have 7-time Grammy Award winner, Alanis Morissette. Hi, Alanis.
Yeah. Hi, Candice. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Like I said, I actually feel a little nervous. It's an honor to be talking to you today, and 2 huge shows happening here in St. John's at the Churchill Park Music Festival. First one sold out in no time. And I'm so glad you decided to do a second.
Oh, yeah, me too, by the way.
It's going to be great, that's for sure. So, Jagged Little Pill. Okay, like soundtrack to my youth, 100%. I think everyone I know listened to it nonstop. You think back on that album now. It was over 2 decades ago, and basically, you wrote these lyrics. How does it feel when you get up on stage and sing those lyrics now?
Well, the good news is that they're consistent with what I still value. So I think if they were stories and perspectives that had evolved and changed over the last few decades, I probably couldn't perform them. I wouldn't be able to stand by them. But because value systems have stayed the same, and the inquiry and the curiosity and the fire and the anger and the feelings and the deep thinking and all of the things that make up, my type of human, they've stayed true. So I can still perform them with conviction, thank God.
What about your family? What do they think of that? I know you have 3 kids.
I think it's for expression, whether it's with the body or words or feelings or sensuality or whatever it is, for that to be normalized for them. Like, yeah, this is what my mom does for a living. It's a house full of artists, basically, who are, there's no self-consciousness here. People express themselves anytime, however they want, and it's really inspiring around here. So they're psyched when they see it on stage. They think it's completely normal.
People look at it, they sing along with you. Like I just mentioned, it's like the soundtrack to their youth. And if someone would say that to you, what kind of response would you give to them?
Well, I would say, you're welcome, and I'm so sorry. I think a lot of people what happened when people started resonating with what I wrote at 19 was I thought I was alone, right? It's sort of a natural thing to think when we're in pain or we're suffering that we're alone in the world. And people resonating with what I was grappling with made it really evident to me that I wasn't alone, and that this was just part of the human condition, being a sensitive empath, introverted, trying to manage life in an extroverted world, patriarchy, all of it. It's like so many of us were experiencing similar things as human beings. So it really had me feel less alone on the planet, to be honest.
The album is huge. 33 million copies were sold. When it comes to, I guess, you, what would you say is the most ironic thing that has happened to you since that song itself was released?
Oh, my God. I'd have to think. I'd have to think and get out of my malapropism brain. But, for someone who is as introverted as I am, it's a very, very extroverted lifestyle that I've created. So there is some element of me having to calibrate that. It's just me being responsible. If I do shows or travel and there's a lot of stimulation, it's really up to me to make sure I recharge, because I kept thinking I was an extrovert because the planet really values extroverts, right? So I just kept thinking, okay, I'm not who I really am. I'm this other person, So, but now as I get older, which is one of the many gifts of getting older, I'm just realizing that there's ways to function in an extroverted world as a sensitive person, and I'm all about supporting other people and doing the same when I can.
Well, your music has changed throughout the years. At what point did you find your writing change?
I think just as I evolved, for me, self-expression includes all the multidisciplinary forms. So it's photos and paintings and design and clothing and architecture. And so for me, there's this multitudinous way of expressing. So I think as a philosopher, I just really relate to deep inquiry and conversations that just evolve topics forward. So that inevitably would come out in my lyrics. And just talking about the human condition and going ever deeper as every year went by. So that has to show up in the lyrics.
Well, I know a lot of people are so excited to sing along with you for the next, I guess, 2 nights. A lot of K-Rockers wanted me to ask you this because I know it's emotional because last year we lost Taylor Hawkins, and he was a big part of your life. And what was one of those fondest moments that stuck out in your memory, I guess, of Taylor during the years he was with your band?
Yeah, I just think of the qualities that he embodied, like he was such an uplifting, supportive, championing, artist-loving, hugely inspiring spirit, and that remains, whenever I think of him and miss him and feel anything from devastation to just nostalgia and love for him, I think about these incredible qualities that he had. He could see artists so clearly, and he would articulate it so generously, and I could see everyone that he met, everyone walked away from having hung out with Taylor feeling uplifted and feeling excited and feeling seen, and that's an incredibly generous quality, and he was always that way.
I think you did a wonderful tribute to him joining the Foo Fighters recently.
Yeah, that was so bittersweet. I just hated that he wasn't there.
I know. I can only imagine. But Alanis, now, as an artist, you've done TV, you've done movies, you are a spokesperson, a role model for so many. Your wife, you're a mother. Is there anything you have not accomplished? And if not, what is it?
I think for me, it's about, I'm starting a venture where it's going to be really focused on, trauma recovery and addiction recovery and body stuff and just wholeness. I really think of myself as a wholeness advocate. And for anyone, it could be, everyone's at a different juncture, right? It's not one panacea thing for the whole planet. We're all at different junctures in our lives. And I live to support people from B to C or from R to F in their own evolution. So I'm going to more pointedly do that, whether it's through podcast or keynote or starting this venture, and just having a place where community can gather is really important to me as I get older.
Well, that's definitely what you do best for sure. Now, the 2 shows happening Friday and Saturday. What can we expect at the Churchill Park Music Festival?
I think we're just basically taking everything from the last 25, 30 years and creating this kind of tapestry of songs that just, pepper a bunch of different decades. And for us, it's like this kind of serpentine. We link all the songs together, and the order of the songs in the set list really matter a lot to me. So we put a lot of time when we were rehearsing into making sure that the journey emotionally had its own arc, so very physical, very emotional, very, I like to think somewhat intellectual here and there, but for me, I go in a trance when I'm on stage. So I always look forward to that really surrendered spot. And then we do it together. It's just a giant invitation to feel and think and move and anything you need.
That makes me very excited. I cannot wait to see you live. Is this your first time in Newfoundland?
It's actually not. I've been there, I think, 4 or 5 times. I went a few times when I was a young creature, and then we've been there in my adulthood too. I love it there. I've been trying to figure out the right word to use to describe it, but there's something very ethereal and magical for me. Magical is an overused word, but there's a magic to the East Coast, and I think anyone who lives there knows it. But I'll come up with a better word, and I'll share it with you if I see it.
Have you been screeched in?
Ooh, what is that? What does it entail?
Being screeched in is the whole, kiss the cod thing. And I know that last weekend at the festival, Talk, I believe, he got screeched in on stage.
What does it entail? Should I put my helmet on?
I'm going to let you
Do
Google.
I need pulleys and levers?
Google
I'm going
it.
to Google this because I'm a little bit scared, but I'll be fine.
And if you do it, I want to see this happen. I will hold your hand.
Okay. Wow. No. I'm Googling immediately after I get off this call.
You definitely need to, but it involves kissing a cod.
Oh my God. Kissing the cod also sounds terrifying.
It's not alive, so that's the good news.
Okay.
But
that's even worse. Oh my God.
No, it's a dead fish, yeah.
Oh God.
Go Google
Not sure
that.
I'll be doing that on stage.
No. You know what? People will love it, though. But I don't think you need to.
Oh, God.
They love you
But I'll learn everything I can.
Yeah, give it a Google for sure. We look forward to seeing you, and I am extremely excited for the show. Do you have anything that you want to say to the people of St. John's who are counting down the hours now?
Yeah, I just say thanks for your patience in waiting for me to come back. I've been dying to get back to you. and I'm so happy we're going to be there. I have this nonstop smile on my face right now as I hurtle towards you.
No, you're Googling the screen, Jim. That's why you're smiling.
I'll stop smiling probably when I see that.
But I do want to thank you, and we will see you here in St. John's Friday, Saturday, live. All right, my love. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
See you.